Over $2.8 billion was lost to bogus crypto scams in 2021 alone, with one study estimating that pump and dump schemes in general amount to as much as $120 billion in annual crypto volumes. And there's a seemingly endless barrage of new coin launches backed by influencers, the Hawk Tour girl, the 6'7" kid, and the Ibiza final boss. It never seems to end. And this isn't investing, it's a social experiment on mass delusion. The cycle of fame, instant coins, instant wealth, and instant apologies is not accidental. It's a professional, predatory business model. So in this video we'll examine some of the celebrity shills who've been caught promoting this stuff, break down how these schemes actually work, and finally expose some of the masterminds behind it all. So first, the celebrity's role is that of the ultimate marketing tool, providing an audience who trust them and who are hungry for quick riches. The celebrity is paid or granted a massive early supply of the coin and then floods social media with videos or tweets, or they are airdropped millions of the tokens that they are promoting, which news outlets then report as a massive holding. Helps when you're giving them for free. All this publicity is of course designed to send the price skyrocketing, hyping it up as much as possible before the rug pull and the celebrities and the original creators of the scam take out all their money, sell everything, and leave people with nothing. The celebrity's excuse is usually plausible deniability. I didn't know what I was promoting, I only had the best of intentions, etc, etc. Our first high profile case was the Emacs scandal, where Kim Kardashian, for example, was paid $250,000 for just one Instagram story promoting the Ethereum Max or Emacs token. Her post included a tiny hashtag ad, but crucially failed to disclose the amount of the payment, a violation of federal securities laws. Along with Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Paul Pierce, their endorsements drove a massive pump, only for Emacs to crash 97% from its peak. The SEC penalised Kardashian with a $1.26 million settlement. Another famous scam is that of the TRX and BTT tokens. The SEC charged 8 celebrities, Lindsay Lohan, Jake Paul, Soulja Boy, Akon, Neo, Lil Yachty, Austin Malone, and Kendra Lust, and by the way I was a lot happier not knowing who most of those people were before researching this video, for illegally promoting Tronics, TRX, and BitTorrent, BTT tokens. Now a crucial detail here is that they were allegedly directly told to not disclose their compensation. Most of them paid settlements totaling over $40,000, which is actually pretty funny when you consider that the companies behind all this scammed people out of over $30 million. Perhaps the most morally bankrupt case I've managed to find was that of hashtag kids. FaZe K, Rice Gum, Sam Pepper, I feel like I'm reading a weird ingredients list, Jarvis Katri, Nakan Nadim, and others launched hashtag kids, a token cynically named Save the Kids. It used a heartwarming facade to lure in young, trusting fans, but the developers behind it changed the token's code just before launch, altering an anti-whale mechanism from a 24-hour limit to a mere 60 seconds. Now what this means is that the insiders and influencers can dump their massive holdings immediately after the hype peaked, which is something that anti-whale clause would specifically have barred against. So the morally repugnant celebrities were paid, the charity was a lie, and the fans were left with nothing. And this single project's estimated losses come to more than 80 million. In this particular case just boils my blood. Scamming people via the guise of a charity is just vile. But don't worry, it's not just grotesque adults, there's also grotesque children getting in on the act. An infamous case of a 13-year-old Gen Z quant kid who created a Solana meme token called Quant on pump.fun. As the coin's value soared, he brazenly sold all of his reserved tokens live on stream while flipping off his audience.
Thanks for the 20 bandos.
Pocketing around $30,000 and crashing the coin's price by 50% in seconds. He's done this a further 2 times after he's apologized, with his last coin being named sorry. And there are many other notable examples. We have the Hawk Tour girl who backed the Hawk coin named after her viral meme, pumped it up, dumped it, and of course apologized. Not content with his previous entry on this list, our good friend Jake Paul is back again. This time involved in the SafeMoon LLC, which is an American cryptocurrency and blockchain company that created the SafeMoon token, which has been compared to a Ponzi scheme and has since seen arrests for his executives. Not to be outdone, his equally repugnant brother Logan has been involved in scams such as the pump and dump Dink Doink, which blockchain evidence shows he held coins in to dump from the start. He was also part of CryptoZoo, a supposed game to earn crypto that never launched but did get sued as a scam. Half of the course, Logan claims he's only ever held the best intentions and was let down by bad actors involved in both cases. You should be tired of hearing apologies and false excuses by now. And seemingly there's always a new scam around the corner. As of writing this, the latest 15 minutes of fame con artist being the Ibiza final boss and the 6'7" kid, whose source of supposed fame I'd rather not spend any brain cells worrying about, as researching the script has already been soul-destroying enough. And there's always something darkly amusing about watching these celebrities crawling false attempts at contrition. A pro tip for any would-be celebrities: if someone approaches you with a huge sum of money to promote a financial venture that you don't understand, maybe don't shill for the obvious scam. Speaking of which, this video is brought to you by your Spanish National Lottery winning ticket. Just enter your bank details in the description of this video and you will be sure to have your winnings in no time. For the love of God, it's a joke. Please nobody do this. Now, whether the celebrities here are willing co-conspirators or just greedy, naive tools and puppets, the result's the same. Thousands of people lost their money because they trusted an influencer. So how do these scams even work in the first place? Well, at its core, a meme coin scam is a technical fraud, a mechanism designed to steal all the cash that the pump up and hype creates. The fraudster sets up a token and pairs it with a supposedly stable crypto like Ethereum or Solana in a liquidity pool. The pool is the essential reserve that allows buyers and sellers to trade the new coin. So when an everyday investor buys the meme coin, their money flows into this pool. The celebrity hype drives the price up, swelling the liquidity pool with real money from thousands of buyers. Once they hit their target market cap, they sell their enormous pre-mined token supply back into the pool, or in a full rug pull, they literally remove all the underlying crypto from the pool itself. This action drains all the liquidity, causing the coin's price to crash instantly, often to zero or near zero. So to simplify it, the playbook is develop a new, unproven and highly volatile token, aka a shitcoin. Ensure the vast majority of tokens are controlled by a handful of insiders, as was seen with the Hawk2 coin amongst many others. Pay a gullible, or greedy, or both, celebrity or influencer a huge undisclosed fee to create maximum hype and fear of missing out among their dedicated audience. As the public buys into the coin, driven by the celebrity endorsement, the creators and insiders sell their massive holdings, causing the token's value to collapse almost instantly. So the mechanism effectively leverages a celebrity's brand, trust, and reach as a disposable tool to extract millions from the public and funnel it to a few anonymous, shadowy figures, and sometimes the influencers themselves. The celebrity takes a fine, a PR hit, usually a ban from promoting crypto for a few years, while the crypto founder walks away with the vast majority of the profits from the victims they targeted. So we've met the puppets. Now for the puppeteers. While Kim Kardashian took the SEC fine in the Emacs case, the class action lawsuits point to the creators themselves, Steve Gentile and Giovanni Perrone, as the engineers of the Emacs pump and dump. If I'm saying some of these names wrong, by the way, I don't care, these people are all scammers. Steve and Giovanni are alleged to have orchestrated the celebrity hype to inflate the price before selling off their massive, undisclosed holdings for substantial personal profit. TRX and BTT were created by Chinese crypto scammer Justin Sun. And beyond just organising celebrity touting, the SEC alleges that Sun himself engaged in massive market manipulation. Allegedly, he directed employees to execute over 600,000 wash trades, simultaneously buying and selling TRX between accounts he controlled to create the illusion of high trading volume and legitimate demand. A very rough equivalent would be something like bidding on your own item on eBay. Now, this was market rigging, designed to prop up the price while he and his companies made over $31.9 million from illegal sales. He wasn't just paying the influencers, he was also directly fabricating market activity. The Hawk201's a bit more complicated in some ways. The defendants named in the investor lawsuit filed in a US district court include Over Here Limited, which is a Hong Kong company and Web3 launchpad platform that allegedly facilitated the coin's launch and heavily promoted the project. Clinton So, a Hong Kong resident who identified as the founder and controller of Over Here Limited and who promoted the project online. Tua the Moon Foundation, hideous pun, an entity reportedly registered in the Cayman Islands, that's always a good sign, that allegedly received funds from the sale of the Hawk coin. And Alex Alex Larson Schultz, known as Doc Hollywood, a crypto influencer who was involved in promoting the Hawk token, including hosting Twitter spaces about the project. Now, the blockchain data showed that nearly 96% of the token supply was initially held by just a few wallets, likely controlled by the developers and insiders. Welsh later claimed she was paid $125,000 up front and was misled. Her lawyer claimed they were only responsible for a brand image likeness deal. So when you go through all of these celebrity cases, it's amazing how often they seem to be expecting to be pretty easily forgiven for defrauding their own fan bases with some weak-ass little apology. But anyway, one of our cases did feature actual arrests. In November 2023, the SEC and the US Department of Justice charged SafeMoon and his executive team of Kyle Nagy, Braden John Caroni, and Thomas Smith with fraud, unregistered offering of securities, and money laundering. Again, no apologies for any mispronunciations. In May 2025, SafeMoon CEO Braden John Caroni was convicted by a federal jury on charges of conspiracy to commit securities fraud, wire fraud, and money laundering. Kyle Nagy, the owner and founder, remains at large. However, our other cases to this point have all only resulted in SEC charges or civil charges. You know, part of me wonders if all this is an indirect consequence of Bitcoin's rise into the sphere of public knowledge. Many who aren't well versed in finance know that Bitcoin is a thing, and know that some people seem to become magically rich off of the back of it. To be clear, I'm not saying it's Bitcoin's fault per se, but getting in at the ground floor of the next Bitcoin is a large part of crypto scam's marketing pitch, and that only works because Bitcoin itself has broken into the mainstream. Now, I'd like to think by making it this far in the video, you won't be caught out by any of these scams. And while we wouldn't be near the crypto market in the first place, it's important we know the signs not only for ourselves, but for our friends and loved ones who may yet be deceived. And we haven't even discussed other massive and infamous crypto scams like Thodex or FTX. Every time a new platform or viral coin launches, it seems the collective memory and warnings of scams somehow fades into the background. And really, all of this should be telling everyone to stay away from the scam-riddled cesspool, but if someone you know absolutely must buy a fad crypto, these are the biggest signs of an obvious scam. If the creators have no public profile, verifiable professional history, or real-world identity, there is zero accountability. So if the project fails or it's a scam, an anonymous team can disappear instantly with your money. Also, if the coin's only purpose is to be bought and sold, which is to say there's no white paper, no code, no application, and no technological vision, it's only there for hype and has a pretty decent chance of being a scam. Another surefire sign is if a small number of wallets, often the creators or promoters, hold a huge percentage of the coin's total supply. You can check the coin's top holders on a block explorer like Etherscan or Solscan. If the top 10 wallets hold over 50% of supply, run away. Obviously, any promises of guaranteed quick returns, 100 times your money tomorrow, free money, this is all the mark of obvious fraud. Now, this is true in any sphere, whether it be crypto scams or those annoying YouTube adverts of some absolute gimp claiming he makes thousands by sitting on his fat ass at home. Finally, if there's heavy promotion by social media figures, especially if they fail to clearly and prominently tell you about their compensation, then you are the exit liquidity. The scams are obviously not a new concept, and there'll never be a shortage of morally corrupt celebrities who are willing to sell out their fans to make money, nor will there be a shortage of the criminals who are willing to orchestrate the con. We have to look out for the people around us. Talk to your friends, your family, especially your parents and the elderly. If all sounds too good to be true, if a celebrity has given you specific financial advice, it's almost certainly a lie designed to enrich them at our expense. And we have to try and stop this disgusting cycle of scams. And seeing as governments are lagging so far behind in terms of legislating crypto, it's kind of up to us to be part of the intervention that the world needs. It'll be pretty damn hard to get rid of scams entirely, but it helps to try and do your part. If you're interested in infinitely better ideas to grow your saving, follow along with us here at P42. Please do all the YouTube things for us, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.